I'm smelling a lot of perfumes.
No perfumes. I don't have any perfume on. I never wear perfume. My husband's allergic. He'll start sneezing, so I don't wear perfume. Ever. No, that's not true.
You don't wear perfume ever?
Once in a while I do. I used to wear it.
There's my she.
Cooper's here.
Who?
Cooper.
Yeah, she's out there. I saw her coming downstairs. She's coming in for her goodbye.
Hey.
Okay. Is it 7 o'clock? Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year, Dania Beach. This is the City of Dania Beach regular meeting on January the 14th, 2025. It is 7 p.m. and I call this meeting to order. City Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Davis,
Here.
Vice Mayor Salvino,
Here.
Commissioner Llewellyn,
Here.
Commissioner Ramoli,
Here.
Commissioner Ryan. Here. City
Here.
Attorney Bootsas,
Here.
City Manager Garcia,
Here.
Mayor, you have quorum.
Thank you, City Clerk. I appreciate that. If we could just now get ready to take a moment of silence, and as we do so, let's remember those affected by the fires in Los Angeles, as well as the Deacon Flowers family. Thank you. Thank you. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next up, we have presentations and special events, item 3.1, and proclamation approvals. We have the Martin Luther King Jr. Day, January 20th, 2025, sponsored by me. Black History Month, February 2025, sponsored by me. Do I have consensus for the special event and approvals?
Yes.
We have consensus. And on to item 3.2, we have special event applications for Parks and Recreation, the Dolphins Cancer Challenge that will take place on February the 2nd, 2025, in addition to the annual Broward County Waterway Cleanup on March the 3rd, 2025. Do I have consensus for item 3.2? Yes. We have consensus. On to item 3.3, we have the Martin Luther King Jr. Celebration Banquet on January 18th, 2025, a fee waiver for IT Parker, center rental for Parks and Recreation. Do I have consensus? Have question? Hold on, Commissioner Llewellyn has a question.
So, thank you, Mayor. It's not actually a question, it's sort of a comment, and I have spoken with our finance director, CFO, about this as well. For number 3 and number 4, we're seeking fee waivers. I think it makes more sense to be able to show that there's revenue being generated through that particular facility if we actually take funds from a contingency fund or something to that effect, as opposed to just waiving the fees, because otherwise there's no give and take, basically, as far as the budgeting is concerned. So I'm proposing that as opposed to doing a fee waiver, that somebody, either we take it from our general contingency fund, or if we don't want to do that, I'm happy to take it out of mine. It's like $1,200?
If I may, through the mayor, it's cleaner way and it's accounting. We balance the budget by the revenues that we project and the expenditures. So you can waive the fee, but it's so much more cleaner and a better practice to just sponsor.
Right.
And then we take it out of the contingency, and it's a win-win.
I'm in agreement with that,
Can you introduce
Commissioner,
city
but I
contingency,
also
or-
want to, I'm in agreement with putting it and taking it from the commission contingency funds.
Does anybody
Is there any
object,
other
or-
discussion on that?
Anybody else? No? Okay. So then I would be fine with doing that. So I would move to approve that?
Move to approve as a sponsorship.
Sure.
Thank you, Commissioner Llewellyn. If we could, I know we always sponsor the Four Chaplains ceremony at IT Parker, so if this is something moving forward that we could put in the budget for the future, then that way we could automatically know that that's what we're doing going forward. Thank you.
So we're moving to approve that as well? Taking on both items? Yes.
Yeah, 3 and 4.
3 and 4, okay. So then we will move on to proclamations. Approval for proclamations, which we just had, and so now it is me.
Mayor, I'm sorry. Commissioner Llewellyn made a motion. Do we have either a second
Second,
and a
sorry.
vote, or do we have an acclamation?
You have a second?
Okay, we have a second.
Second by Commissioner Romoli. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right,
Thank you.
motion passes. Next up, we have the Martin Luther King proclamation. Martin Luther King Day is January 20th. So whereas Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. devoted his life to advancing equality, social justice, and opportunity for all and challenged all people to participate in never-ending work of building a more perfect union through nonviolent means, and whereas Dr. King believed immensely in the power of individual action and collective hope to create a brighter future, and whereas Dr. King's legacy includes such landmark United States federal laws as Civil Rights Act of 1964, the Voting Rights Act of 1965, and the Fair Housing Act of 1968. And whereas Dr. King taught us to see commonality of our dreams, our hopes, and our fears, the threads of truth and dignity that bind us together as human beings. And whereas Dr. King believed that the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. And whereas all hands and hearts to keep its course straight and true. And whereas the ideals of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and the City of Dania Beach's commitment to human rights are worthy of reflection and remind us that improving the quality of life for all members of society is a responsibility of every member of society. And whereas we recognize the need to model Dr. Martin Luther King's pursuit of unity, equality, and justice to prevent all forms of discrimination, including systemic racism. Now, therefore, on the behalf of the City of Dania Beach Commission, I, Joyce L. Davis, Mayor of the City of Dania Beach, do hereby proclaim January 20, 2025 as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day in the City of Dania Beach, and encourage our citizens to honor the great legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. by observing this day and to celebrate, educate, and advocate and serve. Thank you. And we will move on to the administrative reports. Madam Manager, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am, Madam Mayor, thank you so much. Happy New Year, everyone. We're very excited to start a new year, and I just wanted to briefly speak on one of our top priorities of this administration that has been so strongly supported by this commission, particularly with the adopted strategic master plan, to be able to recruit, retain, and promote the best employees. We closed out the year in a really remarkable way. Over 175 employees celebrated together with all of us. We celebrated excellence and the work of all the members of this team. Our mayor, our vice mayor, and our entire commission was there, working very closely with our HR team and our chief HR director, Linda Gonzalez. We have planned numerous events by popular demand, Madam Mayor. We now have 7 thriving Thursdays.
Yay!
Very, very exciting. Very exciting. We knew that you'd be very, very happy.
am very excited about
The employees love it. At the end of the month, we have 30 vendors coming to participate in our health fair. I go to the smoothie place. I frequent so many businesses here in our city, and they're all participating. So we're extremely excited that that relationship that is flourishing with all our local businesses is now something that our employees can take advantage of. So we're very, very excited by that. Just earlier today, I was having a conversation with Joanna Garnett. We're also very excited that the Nyberg Swanson construction is coming to an end. So we are asking for February 25th to do an extremely magical ribbon cutting and celebratory event. As you know, that night we don't have CRA meetings, so we would start at 5 p.m. We would have a lovely reception, and I just want to make sure that you have that on your calendars. It's going to be very, very exciting. The place is looking fantastic. 2 weeks ago, we met with Dr. Wanza from the Broward County Schools. As you know, there was a time when we thought that some of our schools were going to be closing, and all of us here on the dais really became ambassadors for our schools and for our principals and for our kids, really truly thinking outside the box. We are now that poster child. I've spoken with Dr. Zeman from Broward County Schools, with newly elected Maura Ballman for Broward County Schools, our deputy city manager, myself, our parks director. Meta did a complete walkthrough at Olson with the principal. Also, we did the same thing at Collins Elementary, whereas we would have spent approximately $8, $10, $12 million to build a brand new EOC. We will be able to now use existing space that the schools are not using and be able to retrofit existing space. It would be a win-win for the school and for the city, ensuring that we have that emergency operations center, but that we're not going to spend the amount of money that otherwise we would have been spending if we were building it brand new. In addition to that, at Olson Middle School, with new construction money, as you know, we have the 7 acres that's going to be recreational opportunities, community center for our entire community. On another partnership, what we would have spent to build the recreation community center, we will now be working with Dr. Wanza and her team and Principal Giancarli to take existing space of 8,000 square feet and be able to do even something better at a lesser cost right there adjacent to the 7 acres. So we're really excited about that. We went with our city architect, and we look forward to coming back to you as soon as those preliminary drawings are ready so we can discuss it with you. But we're very, very excited about that. We had a very productive conference call with Lyle Summit. As you know, we adopted your strategic master plan in 2021. Now we're going to be looking to do that revision so you can see how many things we have checked off the list, things that were your directive and your priorities that we've completed very successfully here in the city. And then we can begin to add new priorities that you all can bring forward. So we're very excited about that. We're going to be bringing you some dates via Maxine, but we've already agreed on a cost and the scope of work. And this is something that we're very excited about. On January the 9th, I took part in a very productive new board member orientation. As you know, I have been appointed to the board of the Greater Fort Lauderdale Alliance. That's the economic engine of Broward County. So to be selected to be part of this board is extremely rewarding for me, because what I want to do, and it's something that we were very successful working with Candido and NMB, is to be able to recruit really new businesses here, and to retain and to augment and enhance businesses citywide. So being able to partner with this great board and them choosing me, they know that we are really the center of South Florida. And this is a statement that I made to them, and Commissioner Ryan picked up on it, because at Dania After Dark, when I made the announcement about this city, we are as we market ourselves. And if we believe that we're insignificant, or we're going to wait for somebody to make it significant, then we're going to be waiting. But you know what? We're going to be continuing to put Dania Beach on the map for good reasons, and not leave any stone unturned in regards to recruiting businesses and ensuring that the businesses that are here that we seize the best and they can be the best for our community. Our city attorney has developed an outstanding relationship with the folks at Lucky Fish, the ownership. And as you know, the construction at Lucky Fish is moving along very, very quickly. And we look forward to next month, another ribbon cutting there. Approximately a year and a half ago, we started a great relationship with FAU. We noticed that their parking lot was mostly empty and that ours was not. Something as simple as knocking on their door. So we have a great partnership with FAU. Now our goal would be to amend the existing contract to bring an element of valet parking that both the quarterdeck and Lucky Fish can take advantage of. So we're very, very excited about that. And we're going to be meeting with both the quarterdeck and Lucky Fish. So I'm very grateful to our city attorney, but we're building extremely, extremely fantastic relationships that really benefit our city. So it's a win-win for everybody. And as you recall, via persuasion and communication and a very solid relationship with the Milton Group, we were able to basically get them to spend an additional $250,000. So the whole design for Gulfstream Road will be paid by the private sector. We will be having a meeting with them tomorrow, and at the next manager's report, we will be able to give you a preliminary timeline, but they're going to be breaking ground soon on that Gulfstream drainage project. Very, very important project here for us in the city, totally funded by the private sector, just based on relationships and just simply asking, because we can. Last year in Tallahassee, we batted 1,000, as you know. Very, very grateful for the relationships that we have built up there with our Speaker of the House, who's very, very impressive. As a matter of fact, the mayor and I were discussing that. Very grateful. Thank you, Commissioner Rimoli and Mayor, that we're going to be together again in Tallahassee, seizing those opportunities. A parks project that we're bringing forward, and 2 key storm drainage projects that we hope to bat 1,000 again in Tallahassee this year. Our entire city team is running on all cylinders, and we're extremely excited and appreciative of your support. And the best is yet to come for this team and this city. And that concludes my report. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam Manager, for your very thorough report. Commissioner Llewellyn has a comment or question.
Thank you, Mayor. For the city manager, I'm glad that you talked about Lucky Fish and the change in the plan for the parking. I'm sure I'm not the only one here who's getting regular phone calls and texts and emails about the parking situation, because we all see Lucky Fish going up, and which is supposed to be opening in the next month. So there will not be a parking garage, correct?
Well, a parking garage is something that we can explore in the future. We've been pricing, what would cost us for square footage, speaking with Mr. Abbo and other individuals, and we will be talking somewhere between $8, $10, $15 million. Right. So if for now we can think outside the box at a fraction of the cost and seize those opportunities for valet parking, and we're actually looking at the configuration of our campus where we can even gain more parking in addition to the FAU partnership.
And that's something that will be able to be done immediately, right?
Absolutely, immediately.
Okay, that's what we need to know, because people are asking. So,
Absolutely. Feel confident that you can tell them this.
thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Llewellyn. And again, City Manager. On to item 5.2, City Attorney.
Good evening, everyone. It's usually a good thing that you don't hear from the city attorney's office, because we're the ones who have to deal with all the problems and the headaches and the behind-the-scenes issues. The only thing I wanted to point out tonight in my report is that we'd like to bring at the next meeting of the City Commission a minor tweak to your logo policy, because as you notice, there's a lot of requests under the consent agenda for use of the logo, and it's often last minute. So if the City Commission is approving something in the budget to be like the MLK or any other event that is through their budget approved, we want to automatically authorize the use of the logo, because not always do the staff members remember to come to you timely for the use of that logo. So just eliminate one more hoop. So the amendment would be that if it's in the budget as a budgeted item like the Seafood Festival, the logo could be used automatically.
Daniel Point, the 5K, those things that you all approve.
Okay. As long as it's in the budget.
Exactly.
Got
And
it.
then anything else would have to come to you for authorization.
Excellent. All right. Is that all, City Attorney?
Yes.
That's
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, City Attorney, for that report. Next, we have our public safety, City Clerk. City Clerk.
Just wanted to remind
City
you,
Clerk 5.3, any reminders? Please let us know about your reminders.
just of the upcoming meetings, we have on January 28th, 2025, the City Commission meeting. And then in February, we have February 11th, 2025, we have the CRA Board meeting. And immediately following the City Commission meeting.
Thank you, City Clerk.
If I could make one other interruption, the Planning and Zoning Board meeting is canceled for tomorrow for lack of quorum. Okay?
Thank you.
The Planning and Zoning meeting is canceled for tomorrow for lack of quorum.
Thank you, City Attorney, for that update. And now we will move on to our item 6.1, our public safety reports, and we have Captain Jason Tarala. Captain?
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager, City Attorney. On Sunday, approximately 2 o'clock in the morning, we had a strong arm robbery that occurred in the 300 block of South Federal Highway. A gentleman was leaving work and he was walking home and he was approached by 2 unknown males who asked him if he wanted to buy something. The gentleman knew something wasn't right. He attempted to get away from these 2 gentlemen. Unfortunately, the gentleman attacked him, punched him, kicked him, and stole his property. Our deputies immediately got to the area, set up a perimeter, and we were able to successfully locate both suspects involved in this case, and they were positively identified and placed into custody for strong arm robbery. Earlier last week, our deputies on our new halfway installed LPR system, on one of our new pole LPRs, we got a hit for a stolen vehicle in 1800 block of Griffin Road. Our deputies were able to follow the vehicle, and once aviation got overhead, we conducted a felony traffic stop on that vehicle. We were safely able to get the vehicle stopped, and we were able to detain all 4 occupants of the vehicle, and we were able to recover that vehicle safely and return it to the owner, who that vehicle was stolen in Dania Beach. So we were able to get that vehicle recovered to our Dania Beach resident, and the occupants were arrested and taken to jail. And lastly, this last Saturday, while our deputies were working the ongoing operational plan over in Dania Point, they were alerted by a citizen who they said they believed a young man might have been concealing a firearm on his person. Our deputies made contact with this individual, and through their investigative means, they were able to detain him. And once they began searching him, they located a fully loaded firearm on his person. That firearm did come back stolen, and like I said, he was a juvenile. That juvenile was placed into custody for possession of a stolen firearm and taken to Jack. And that was the only other issue we had that night there. We're also preparing for our annual MLK Day Parade, which we'll be handling on Monday. And I do want to announce that Sheriff Tony is coming to Dania Beach to participate in our Martin Luther King Day Parade. So he will be coming here with our executive command staff. And that's a huge deal because there's many parades. And this year he chose to come to Dania Beach to show our city love and to show us representation. So I hope everyone will be there because it's a big deal when the sheriff comes. So that'll be a nice event on Monday. And last, I went through this really quickly because really the star of the event tonight is Captain Shalonda Cooper. So, as this city knows, as I always said when I came up here, that we would be losing Shalonda at some point, that she would get promoted. I knew it would happen. I was hoping it wouldn't happen as soon as it did. But Shalonda, what she has meant to this city, I can only say in so many words. When I met with the city manager a year and 7 months ago, when the city manager decided to make me her chief, she asked me, she says, well, who's going to be our deputy chief? And I told her, I said, well, we're getting a Lieutenant Cooper. And she goes, tell me a little bit about Lieutenant Cooper. I said, she's probably the most personable, happiest, best person in BSO. And that's all I had to say to you. And you said, that's it, I'm sold, let me meet her. And obviously, once you met her, I think I had nothing else I need to say about that. The way she has been since she was my XO here, I can tell you all right now, hands down, I would not be successful in this city over the last year and 7 months without her. When I became the chief, it's a transition period. I was still learning the position, many challenges, and I could not have faced those challenges without now Captain Cooper her expertise in many other divisions to this agency, her opinions, how she viewed things, how I viewed things, we would always come together and work together to make the best resolution for the city, for the agency, and for our personnel. She is hands down the best person I think I've met in this agency. I have never met a harder working person, and a more beautiful person than Shalonda Cooper. No one has given her anything. She worked her ass off for the last year and 7 months here. She earned her position to captain. No one handed her anything. She earned this. She has worked so hard. And I run out of words to say about her because she's just a phenomenal person. When she comes in, she lights up the room. Her smile just lights up everything. And don't be fooled, because when she has to put her foot down and be that executive lieutenant, and when she needs to be the assistant chief, and now when she needs to be the captain, trust me, she can be that captain. I have seen her when I've had to calm her down and tell her, Shalonda, calm down, relax. Don't be fooled by her smile, because there's plenty of times when I've had to calm her down. And she does her job with such professionalism. And even when she had to be tough, the deputies still leave with a smile on their face, because she does it in a way that she does it with such professionalism and integrity. Shalonda, I am so proud of you for making captain. No one is a harder working person than you. No one's earned it. No one deserves it more than you. Tonight, I know Shalonda brought her family, and come on up, Shalonda. So I'll introduce a little bit, and I'll let her finish, but her husband's in the back. Her husband is the district chief of the city of Tamarack, and I started road patrol with her husband 22 years ago in the city of Oakland Park, so I have known her husband a long time. And when Shalonda came, I spoke to her husband, and he told me, he said, you could not be getting a better person to make you succeed. And you were spot on, JC. Thank you very much for giving me Shalonda for the last year and 7 months and letting her be part of my family. So thank you very much. And I'll let you introduce the rest of your family. And I'll let her talk a little bit. I'm gonna take the time away so she can talk.
Chief, if I may say a couple of words of Shalonda through the mayor, may I, Mayor? A year and a half ago, a little bit over a year and a half, when I did promote our chief, and one of the things that we discuss is like, we want to make sure that we have a deep bench, and that we have an ambassador in the number one and the number two. So it's seamless. When you're out, when you're on vacation, I have no words because I will fall short time and time again. Because Cooper, you have been fantastic. You're not a person that gets replaced. We move on and we do what we got to do, but that chemistry and that relationship and that genuineness, that doesn't happen every day. But you were such a great fit with us, and those are very big shoes to fill. We love you. You always have a home here, but this past year and 7 months has been fantastic for us. Thank you so much, and thank you to your family, because we know that as public servants, our family has to lend us. But let me tell you, you have been remarkable. Thank you so much, and God bless you, and be safe out there.
Thank you.
You want to speak first before I give you a word? Go ahead, I'll give you a word when you're done. Go ahead.
You got my favorite color? Oh, wow. I knew there was going to be an opportunity for me to say a few words. And I promise I won't be long because we have an agenda to get back to. Business is very important. However, City Manager Garcia, Mayor Davis, Vice Mayor Salvino, Commissioner Llewellyn, Commissioner Romoli, Commissioner Ryan, Chief Tarala, Chief Pellissier, Deputy Manager Candido, Attorney Eve, the entire Dania Beach law enforcement staff and city staff, and my amazing husband and family. Thank you. I'm gonna push through because we are resilient. Tears of joy. It's an honor to stand here today as the newly promoted captain of the Threat Management Division and Real-Time Crime Center. A milestone that would not have been possible without you. We're pushing through. The extraordinary individuals
that I have had the privilege to work alongside with for the past year and a half. I blame you. I blame every last one of you for setting an example that compelled me to reach higher, for challenging me to push past my limits. Jason, you're to blame. And for pouring your wisdom and resources into my growth. It's all your fault. Your belief in me has been a priceless investment, and I will carry that investment with honor and integrity in my new role. Thank you for walking this journey with me. Over the course of this time, I have been inspired by your unwavering commitment, motivated by your leadership, and supported by your trust. Extremely rewarding, priceless, and invaluable. I want you all to know that this promotion is not just a reflection of my work. It is a testament to the strength of teamwork, mentorship, and collaboration. This is our promotion, Dania Beach. This is our promotion. I am deeply grateful for the opportunity to have learned from each of you and for the trust you have placed in me to rise to the challenges we face together. As I step into this new chapter, it's a new year, it's a new chapter. My birthday's this weekend. It's gonna be a new year, my 18th year with the agency. A lot of new great opportunities, a lot of new blessings. As I step into this new chapter, I remain committed to serving this community and upholding the values we hold dear. Together, I believe we will continue to make a difference. Thank you for your guidance. Jaden Cooper, my son, he's currently in the police academy. He's doing so amazing. He just celebrated and had a 21st birthday on January 9th. My daughter, Anaya Cooper, my niece, Jaden, my niece Jaden, my niece Jaya, my niece Kaylin, my mother-in-law, my husband's mother, Betty Cooper, my sister-in-law, Sylvania Peaches, my mother. This is the crew that I'm in the house with every single day. They know Dania Beach like the back of their hands. They probably can come and run this city as well. They know each of you by first and last name. They know the support that you all have given me. They know the challenges we have worked through. They know the growth. And I would love for Jaden, when he graduates the police academy in May, who's an extension of me, to come and grace his presence in this amazing city. We'll talk further about that. My husband, I'm so grateful we're now in the same role because we now can wear the same uniform. I don't have to purchase any more uniforms. Thank you, Dania Beach. I am forever grateful. Thank you, Chief Tarala. You have been an amazing blessing. Thank you.
Thank you for everything. This is in special recognition of our appreciation for your outstanding performance and dedication and excellence to the Dania Beach District. Presented to Lieutenant Shalonda Cooper, thank you for being part of our team from June 3rd, 2023 until January 10th, 2025. Congratulations.
Captain Cooper, we are not going to let you go just yet. We're just going to hold on for just a few more seconds, if we may, and my colleagues may want to say something as well. I can't believe it's only been a year and a half, because it's not the quantity of time, but it is the quality of time that you have spent in our city. Your genuineness, your authenticity, and your true love for our community. You show it every single day, showing up for us, and we are going to miss you immensely in this city. When I saw you, my heart smiles every time that I see you, and I just like, oh, she's here, she's back, she didn't leave yet, you know, and immediately immediately I got my hug. I don't know what I'm going to do without my sunshine. I feel like ain't no sunshine when she's gone. But it is a privilege and a pleasure to have someone so deeply rooted in our community that we love and cherish. But Captain Cooper sounds so good, doesn't it? And so some titles are meant to be, and they are meant to keep going. So thank you for all you have done. We do want to get a picture with you and your family and all of us together, because this is a great occasion for all of us to celebrate City Manager, all of our whole team, because we appreciate you so much. And so with that, I'm going to let Commissioner Llewellyn say a few words, if I can get. Or not. There we go.
Okay.
Commissioner Llewellyn.
Thank you very much. And I'm going to be very brief because I don't know if I can push through as well as you did. So, you know we love you. I love you. You're so special. I can't even, we were very fortunate. Thank you for choosing her, because she has brought so much brightness to everything. And I've seen that tough side. I saw it last year at the motorcycle show. And that's part of what made the two of you, it's made you a good team. To see that you balance each other out very well, which has been very, very good. And it's been a wonderful thing to see. And I've seen you grow in that short time. And I know you're going to grow even further. And I agree. I love the sound of Captain Cooper. I think it's fabulous. But you're always going to be our Coop. So, and you know, if you need anything, you just reach out. Okay? And we're going to miss you terribly. I'm going to miss that smile. And all the good energy. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, Commissioner Llewellyn. Vice Mayor Salvino.
I'm not going to say much because I'll lose it. I'm going to miss you.
Commissioner Romoli.
You know, I had to say something. I'm a newbie here, you know that. I'm new to the commission, but I'm not new to you. I've seen you around when I was doing my campaigning at all the different events, and you always had that smile. You always made me feel like, just feel welcome and feel joy of what you do every single day. And I know it's not easy. What you guys do every single day is not easy work, but you make it look easy. And you're gonna just go to great heights. We are so proud of you as a city, and you can't forget about us though, because you need to come back once in a while and say hello. Absolutely. Because we love you very, very much, and we wish you all the best and your entire family the best. Thank you.
Commissioner Ryan.
Thank you, Mayor. Coop, it's been real pleasure to get to know you. The way that you lead with grace and with diligence is an example for everybody to follow. And the way that you and Captain Tarala have worked together shows how two individuals could work together for the betterment of their city and for the department. And, you know, in my eyes, you're famous, right? You were already on Policewoman of Broward County before you got here. So, like I said when I sent you an email, some stars just shine brighter than others. And you are definitely a shining star. And I wish you nothing but good luck in your future endeavors. I know that this is not the end for you, and it's probably hardly even the beginning. So, good luck, Shalonda. We're going to miss you. All right.
All right, let's take that photo, everybody. Go down.
Thank you, because you raised one hell of a special woman. Thank you. Don't be a stranger, though. Okay?
All right, where are we at now? All right, I think we are up for our next public safety report. Chief Pellicer, Sergio Pellicer.
I know, right?
Where's your family, Chief?
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager, City staff, and the great citizens of Dania Beach. It's hard to follow this last report, so I'll do my best. First of all, congratulations to Captain Cooper. And I just want to tell you December's report. Basically, we spread holiday cheer to 10 families here in Dania Beach. Our fire truck went around and brought families Christmas toys for the young ones. We also sent some from the toy drives that we did during November. Brought a bunch of toys to Lighthouse Community Church, and they were able to pass out to all the community in Dania Beach. So that leads me to December's calls. December, we responded to 433 total calls. So that's the least amount of calls we had for the whole year last year as far as monthly goes. 433 calls for service. So that reflects the different diverse needs that our community, we get called for. The breakdown is we had 63 fire incidents, so that's 15% of our calls. Those calls include, for our citizens, they include commercial structure fires, high-rise fires, car fires, hazardous conditions like gas leaks, or electrical pole fires, like we had one this morning. As far as EMS calls, we ran 370 total EMS calls. That's 85% of our calls. So 85% is the majority of the calls that we run as far as EMS calls go. And those include, calls like respiratory arrest, chest pains, diabetic emergencies, falls, strokes, unconscious patients. So this data just goes to show you the need that we have in our community. And I just want to say one thing is that it shows the importance of keeping our staff and our vehicles well equipped and well staffed. And that is thanks to the leadership that we have up here, and that's thanks to the commission that we have up here. So, thank you to you for supporting the fire department always. I do want to share some really good news for the fire department. So BSO in Dania Beach is honored to announce that we achieved again an ISO rating of a Class 1 rating. So that's the highest designation when it comes to fire protection in emergency services. This accomplishment showcases the department's dedication to making sure that we provide exceptional service. I want to personally extend my gratitude to Fernando Rodriguez, our public safety director, his team, also Darren Green and his team for maintaining our hydrants so well. That's a big part of our rating. And Jamil Lobo for his meticulous records on making sure that our generators are well kept, because that's another big point getter. So it just shows, that the fact that we have such a great team in Dania Beach, that all the departments work together and we're able to achieve such great goals. So ISO Class 1 rating is vital for our citizens and businesses because it enhances public safety, but it also helps us reduce insurance costs, making Dania Beach a safer and more appealing economic community. We are now starting our CAS accreditation, which will come sometime in May. That's the commission for accrediting our ambulances. We go through that every 5 years also. And basically, they come down and they check our ambulances and make sure that we're top rated. And I know we will be, so I have no issues with that. And with that, if you have any questions, that's all I have.
No questions. Thank you,
Okay,
Chief.
thank you.
Appreciate it. Next up, we have our citizens' comments, and first, we have Jose Armand. Mr. Armand, if you would please come to the front and state your name and address for the record.
Good evening, Jose Armand, 50 Southeast 3rd Avenue, Dania Beach. I wanted to congratulate this most diverse board. As a Hispanic Latino, I take representation seriously. Representation matters. It's empowering to have minority leaders to look up to and to help us feel supported and understood. So in that vein, here's hoping that the next Hispanic Heritage Month won't be bypassed, thrown on your side, but instead be celebrated with the amalgamation of our different Hispanic Latino cultures and its rich and diverse cuisines. When I first started attending meetings, Commissioner Salvino was the mayor. I came to know the commission thanks in no small part to Bill Harris, whom I had met when I was merrily walking down Main Street and saw Staged Right sign. As a theater practitioner, I wanted to know about his business and also ask about the theater scene in Dania. He was my first acquaintance in this city, and I know that those who knew him miss him dearly. I joined Bill on the Creative Arts Council board, on which I served for 3 years, between 2016 and 2019. And on the same board is where I met Commissioner Romoli. Last Saturday, I attended the Taste of Dania. Wow, the redolent, pungent smell of food wafting up to my nostrils. It brought back memories of when the first Dania After Dark was launched. There was also an air of festivity and joy back then, pungent sense of food wafting in the open air. In closing, let me say that I am looking forward to this wonderful work ahead with this commission, alongside our city manager, Ana Garcia, City Attorney Eve Botes, and Chiefs Jason Tarala and Sergio Pellecer. Thank you and Happy New Year to all actually behind the scenes that make this well-oiled machinery run. So Happy New Year 2025 to all of you, and thank you.
Happy New Year, Armand, and thank you for your kind comments.
Thank you.
Okay, we have no other further citizens' comments unless we have some from the audience who has not submitted. Seeing none, we will move on to the consent agenda. Do we have any pulls from the commission to pull any items from the consent agenda? All right, do I have a motion to pass the consent agenda?
I make a motion we pass the consent agenda, Mayor.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second from Commissioner Romoli. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. All right, the consent agenda passes. Thank you, Commission. Next up, we have item 9, but we have no bids and requests for proposals on this agenda, nor do we have any quasi-judicial or public hearing items on this agenda, so we will move on to item 11.1, first reading ordinances. Eve, if you would please read item 11.1.
Absolutely. An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Dania Beach, amending Chapter 27 of the City Code entitled Water and Sewers, Article 4, Water and Sewer System Impact Fees, to eliminate an alternative fee calculation process in order to maintain consistency in fee calculations and to adhere to best practices, and to eliminate the 2-year review requirement by the City Commission, providing for conflicts, codification, severability, and an effective date. This is a public services item. I can take it for Fernando, not an issue. So for best practices purposes, we're asking to change our system. Basically, when you impose impact fee, there's an ability to challenge at that time. Should you make a modification to the calculation, you can challenge the process then. To come in later and try and come up with a different calculation creates disparities in the process. Did you want to take it over? Okay. And there's a requirement in our code that has a 2-year review requirement that was under the Florida statutes. That provision in the Florida statutes was repealed, so we're just being consistent, taking it out, and the review will occur as we need for business purposes. And this is not a public hearing at this time. Second reading would be a public hearing.
Okay, do you have any discussion from the commission? Vice Mayor Salvino.
I make a motion we pass 11.1.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second from Commissioner Llewellyn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed say nay. Okay, item 11.1 passes. Next, we have item 11.2. Eve, if you could please read item 11.2.
An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Dania Beach authorizing the expenditure of city funds exceeding $1 million, which expenditures for the design services related to the Parks Master Plan, PJ Milley Aquatics Complex Project, providing for conflicts, severability, and effective date. This is a public hearing item.
Yes. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commission, City Manager, City staff, and city residents. My name is Frankie Lazo. I'm the Deputy Director of Parks and Recreation. And what we are asking for in this ordinance is we are asking to exceed the $1 million threshold. As part of the Parks Master Plan, we are rolling out these projects and really implementing them. So we are looking to exceed this threshold for the design of PJ Milley Aquatics Complex. If this passes tonight, we'll bring it back for second reading on the 28th, and then we'll also award on the 28th. So that is what the item is.
Thank you, Frankie. Do we have any discussion from the commission? This is a public hearing. Does anyone wish to speak on this item? Seeing none, do we have any discussion from the commission? Commissioner Romoli? No? Commissioner Llewellyn?
Yes, I'm not opposed to this at all, but I do have a question. As we know, with the C.W. Thomas project, that there was an unexpected increase in funds and costs associated with that. Are we anticipating that to be the case with PJ Milley as well?
So we've been working with finance. What we've done is we've learned from C.W. Thomas. We put out one ordinance before just for the totality of the project. So what we've done in this one is we're just doing it for the design. I worked, our department worked with Frank. We were actually able to negotiate and save over $150,000 off the original price. So there's some savings there. So we'll bring that, and then once we do the design, we'll bring it back for construction. Before we put the bidding out for construction, we'll do the same process again to exceed the $1 million threshold. We'll bring it to first reading for construction, second reading for construction, and then for award of construction. That's some things that we've learned from the past.
Perfect, sounds good. And by the way, welcome, Frankie. I think this is the first time you've gotten up to speak, isn't it?
So second, before I was introduced, my first day really, but second time up here.
Oh, okay. Nice to see you. Thanks.
Thank you, Frankie. Do we have any further discussion from the commission? Do I have a motion? Vice Mayor?
Make a motion past 11.2.
I have a motion to pass 11.2. Do I have a second?
Yes. Second.
Second by Commissioner Romoli. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. All right, 11.2 passes unanimously.
Thank you. Have a nice evening.
Thank you, Frankie. Great job. Next, we have item 11.3. Eve, would you please read item 11.3?
Yes, ma'am. An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Dania Beach amending Chapter 22, Streets and Sidewalks of the city's Code of Ordinances to provide language cleanup to allow for the co-designation of all streets, providing for codification, conflict, severability, and an effective date, community development.
Good evening. Corinne LaJoy, Deputy Director, Community Development. This is a text amendment, first reading, to amend our provision regarding street co-designations. Once upon a time, we used to have street renamings, and there was a list of prohibitions, and one of them is changing the name of a street prior to 1949. That's majority of the east side of the city. This was a holdover from when we co-designated, or when we renamed streets. We no longer rename streets, we co-designate. So this prohibition is no longer necessary. So we're just asking to strike this time.
This is a public hearing. Does anyone wish to speak for or against this item? Seeing none. Commission, do we have any discussion on this item? Vice Mayor?
Make a motion pass 11.3.
Motion to pass 11.3. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Llewellyn. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say nay. All right, item 11.3 passes unanimously. Thank you, Commission. On to item 12, second reading ordinances. We have no second reading ordinances on this agenda, so then we will move on to item 13, discussion and possible action. Eve, if you could please read item 13.1.
Yes, ma'am. A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Dania Beach authorizing the expenditure of public art funds in the amount of $20,000 for sponsorship of the 2025 Ignite Broward Public Art Event, providing for conflicts and an effective date, community development.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commission. So this is an annual request, it seems. This is a sponsorship request for the Ignite Light and Art and Light Festival. They have about 30 displays, 28 artists. They have expanded this location to include 3 locations, which is Hollywood, the Young Circle Arts Park, the City Hall parking garage will be utilized for overflow parking at the Mad Arts establishment, which will have exhibits there, and also the Esplanade Park in downtown Fort Lauderdale. So part of this request is the sponsorship, which is a monetary value, but also in-kind services as we did last year, which is the transit to and from not just Mad Arts, it's also going to take patrons to City Hall parking garage and downtown City of Hollywood Arts Park, and also the City of Fort Lauderdale exhibits as well. I do have a quick little, I think it's here, yeah. Just to show you the residents what Ignite is. It's very exciting, yes. If you attended last year, you know how fun it can be. It's very immersive, interactive, and they're just growing every year. So the City and Public Arts Board wants to continue to sponsor this. They've asked for the $20,000 sponsorship level, and staff is recommending approval of this as well. So I'm here if you have any questions.
I do have a quick question, because we've expanded it to Hollywood now. Are they contributing to the transportation at all?
So we are paying for the services for Dania Beach location to and from the Mad Arts and City Hall parking garage. From what I understand, Mad Arts and the Broward County Cultural Arts Division is contributing the other locations, which would include the Hollywood and Fort Lauderdale. So I don't know if Hollywood's actually contributing, but Mad Arts and Broward County Cultural Arts Division are the one reimbursing us for those costs.
Thank you. Any other discussion on that item? Hold on. Commissioner Romoli?
I just want to mention, I'm actually going to volunteer they need a lot of volunteers. So if there's anybody out there that would like to participate in some way, get a hold of Mad Arts and they'll put you to work. It's going to be a lot of fun and it'll be really exciting. So I just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, you can contact me. I can give you the direct contact from Mark, who's heading the event. Awesome. Okay, great.
Thank you, Eleanor. This is a very exciting event. This is something that we are also continuing to sponsor annually, so this might be something that we also want to put in the budget for, the future. So thank you so much for that thorough presentation. We appreciate it.
And just to be clear, we're allowing the logo, just to be clear.
Yes.
Okay.
Do I have a motion to approve item 13.1? Commissioner Llewellyn.
Yes, I make a motion to approve item 13.1.
Do I have a second? Commissioner Romoli?
Mr. Romoli.
Commissioner Romoli.
Mr. Romoli, yes.
Thank you for the second. All in favor say aye. Any opposed say nay. All right, item 13.1 passes unanimously. Thank you so much, Commission. We are now on to item 13.2, discussion of properties 212-216 Northeast 1st Street. This is the first property. 158 North Federal Highway is the second property, and 400 South Federal Highway is the third property, and this is being sponsored by Commissioner Ryan. Commissioner Ryan.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, this is my item. I'm happy that we brought this up to a discussion possible action item, and I want to go over these three properties that we've been eyeing. I know we discussed one or two of them previously, but I wanted to put it on the agenda and provide backup for it. So we've gotten appraisals on all three of these properties, and the first one that we'll start with is, let me see here. You want to just move it for me? Yeah. Just move it, yeah. Okay, we're waiting to get the property. It's just a street view of the property, and then we have a overall satellite view of the property. Okay, so here's one of the first three properties. So before I start, I just wanted to say that I look at this opportunity for all three of these properties as a kind of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the commission and for the city to grow its footprint, to enhance our green space, preserve and honor our history, and to provide more programming and local activities for our residents, our schools, and our businesses. And we'll start with the first property. This is 212-216 Northeast 1st Street. It's a property that's on the southwest corner of Frost Park. It's directly adjacent from it. Frank, can you, Ralph, slide please? Thanks. So yeah, there's a satellite view of the property. It's on the southwest corner. It's directly across from Frost Park. We have a rendering for Frost Park. This can be included in the plans for Frost Park as well, because it's not set in stone yet. And, it provides more green space, and it provides more opportunity for more activities directly adjacent from our park. So I don't want to speculate too much on the possibilities of what we can do with these properties. I more want to just talk about the properties overall and the value, and eventually get into, get permission to get into negotiations for these properties. Okay, so that was 212-216 Northeast 1st Street. Okay, and so we'll go to the next slide. Oh, wait, back to that one. I wanted to say that we had appraisals on the property for $372,000 and $388,800 on that vacant corner property. Our next property is 158 North Federal Highway. This property is on a half-acre corner lot on US 1, directly on US 1, and it's next to a property that the city purchased about a year and a half ago, the old Jimmy's Chocolates that the city purchased. And I want to mention, we purchased that old Jimmy's Chocolate property for $1.65 million, and then we had an appraisal done on it right after. It was for $1.88 million. So it was a great purchase at the time, and it's still showing that it was a good purchase and it's holding its value. And if we purchase this property, which is another half acre next to it, that would give the city a full acre property on US 1. And we've had unsolicited offers on our property at Jimmy's Chocolates But to put out an official RFP and for the city's sake, I think this would make that piece of property extremely valuable. And, the potential for P3s with that property is very promising, where the city could do a public-private partnership. And like I said, we've gotten a lot of unsolicited offers. People are very interested in that. And we've had 2 appraisals on this property. We actually made an offer on this property about a year and a half ago. We made an offer on Jimmy's as well. And it was around, I think we got just about $2 million, and we didn't proceed further with negotiations because we were too far off. But the current owners are becoming more realistic in their asking price, and I think we could open it up for negotiation, if we present them an offer, and then we could go from there. And that property, the appraisal, most recent appraisal we had on that one is for $1,860,000. Okay, you could do an overall view of that, please, Ralph. Okay, yeah, what's highlighted in red is just a quarter of what that lot is. It's really all 4 corners. It's all 4 of those lots, and then the Jimmy's property are those 2 long lots just below it, or it would be to the south of it. So that would be a full acre, and not to mention on that property is the A.C. Frost house. Andrew Christian Frost, who's the founder of Dania. He built that house there in 1913. The first child of Broward County was born in that house when Broward became a county in 1915. So that building actually has a lot of historical and cultural significance in our city as well. But like I said, I don't want to speculate too much on what we could do with the lot, but that building is there. Okay, we can go next. Okay, this is the 3rd property that I wanted to bring up to the City Commission. This is 400 South Federal Highway. This is the M.C. Frost house. A.C. Frost is our founder, Andrew Christian Frost. He founded the city. He built that house that the first child of Broward was born in. Martin Christian Frost was born in that house. Martin Christian Frost became a successful businessman and the leader of Dania Beach, and he built this house. That's actually a poor picture of the property, but everybody knows this property who lives in Dania Beach, who lives in Broward County. Pretty much everybody knows. This is an extremely significant property when it comes to the county, to the history, to the architecture. It's very well known, and it's listed on our historic list for the city. So I've seen this property. I've looked at it. It is about 3/4 of an acre. It's almost an acre. It's in a residential area, but it's also on US 1 as well. It's a 2-story property. It's around 5,000 square foot house. It has a guest house behind it that's around, I don't know, I'd say like 1,200 square feet. It's 2 stories. And like I said, it has historical significance. The owner has been in talks with the city, and he wants to ultimately sell it to the city. And, that would just be easier for him, and it would be better for the city when it comes to historical standpoint. So this property has 2 appraisals on it. It took a while to get these appraisals due to the historical significance of the property, the age of the property, and the zoning. And both appraisals we have on this property, one was for $2,710,000, and the other one was for $2,770,000. Okay, so I've gone over all these properties with the city. This is all real estate, and we would purchase them with our unreserved funds that we have. I met with Frank at length about this. I think the city has about $28 million in unreserved funds, and for all 3 of these properties would be around like $5.5 million if negotiations, for better or for worse. That would be the number I was looking at. So even if we spent all of this, just bought the buildings out all cash, we would have a sufficient amount of funds for our unreserved funds to meet. I think we need about $12 million to operate for 3 months as a city. So this would knock us down maybe around $23 million. So we'd still be able to operate as a city if nothing went on for 6 months with our unreserved funds. So these are all appreciating assets, and this isn't like we're just giving the money away or we're spending it on something. We're purchasing real estate, which holds value to it, a lot of value to it, especially on US 1. You know, anything in East Dania is very valuable, and the Northeast Dania property as well. And it's diversifying our portfolio. So it's actually, I would say, it's a pretty sound financial move by the city. And it makes a lot of sense in the long run, I would say. And we don't really have many opportunities for this as well. And let's be clear here, when we go under contract, it's gonna be a standard real estate contract. We're gonna have a due diligence period. It's not like we're just gonna offer money and then give it to them. We have to inspect the property, make sure everything's copacetic, and then we can move forward. And, you know, it's 3 separate properties owned by 3 separate individuals. So not necessarily would we purchase all 3, but I wanna do a blanket to go into negotiations for all 3. And like I said, we could purchase all cash, or we could do financing. Frank said we have very good means of obtaining financing for these sort of properties. And once we purchase these properties, then it opens it up, when it's in our control, it opens it up for future grants, historical grants, for restoration, and other grants that you know, we could seek through the state, through the county. And you know, we already have good relationships with some of these companies, like the Persons Group who's redoing the Nyberg Swanson House, so they could go in and they could evaluate and they could assess these historical properties for us as well. And let me see, I want to make sure I covered everything because I know we're going to have further discussion on it. But so my motion for this action item is to get permission from the commission to enter into negotiations for these 3 properties. You know, it's going to be individual offers, but I don't want to exceed $5.6 million. That's the benchmark I want to set for all 3 of these properties. And that $5.6 million could purchase the properties, and it can maintain them also post-purchase. 5.6 is just kind of like a worst-case scenario. And that would be my motion. My motion is to not exceed $5.6 million, to enter into negotiations, to submit a contract for purchase for the properties at 212, 216 Northeast 1st Street, 158 North Federal Highway, and 400 South Federal Highway. That would be my motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Ryan, for that thorough report. And we have some discussion, I believe, from Commissioner Llewellyn.
Yes. Thank you, Commissioner. That was very thorough, and I do appreciate it. I have some questions for Frank, I think. So we're talking about $5.6 million that would be the not to exceed, and that would be coming from reserves, or is that broken down? And I understand we talked about some financing. I want to get a breakdown of financing versus reserves versus potential, and I know grants would be more after the fact, but how would that breakdown work?
Well, the breakdown would be that the MC Frost property, because there's a historic home with a historic designation, that is for perpetuity is going to have a public purpose, which means that if we were to borrow money, we could borrow tax-free money, which is a better, lower borrowing rate for the city. For the other 2 properties, there's a potential of development of taxable type of activities, maybe that don't have necessarily a public purpose, and bond counsel might have an issue getting us a tax-free rate on those. So if you were to move forward with this, I would recommend that for the MC Frost property, we can utilize some short-term financing through our bank. I've spoken with them. We can get a relatively low interest rate for a 5-year credit line, and that just gives us the cushion to make the purchase and do what we need to do with the property as far as applying for grants or whatever we want to do in the short term. And then for the other 2 properties, I would utilize some of the general fund reserves. So it splits the funds so that we're not using too much of our reserve. We're not over borrowing to do this. It satisfies all the needs and doesn't overextend us in any way.
So realistically, our reserves, it wouldn't be $5.6 million coming out of reserves. It would probably be half of that.
Possibly, yeah, maybe a little less.
Maybe less. And I know that, for example, the empty lot that's over near the park, if we could designate that as parks property or green space, there are grants that are available through FERDAP and some other places. Is that correct, City Manager?
Yes, if we're also designate that parks and green space to augment our LOS, our level of service, as a city that's growing that needs green space, we could do the same with the MC Frost as the property across the street from Frost Park.
I've always liked the MC Frost House. I mean, I've always thought that was one that we definitely should look at. I know we talked about that some time ago.
Yes, ma'am. There's tremendous opportunities there, and even I worked on something very closely, in our former city that is generating revenue. So we believe that we can generate revenues and generate grants as well for both of those
It
properties.
could be an alternative to IT Parker as well,
Absolutely.
because you could use it for events and weddings and things like that, and I'm sure people would. Do we have any idea the condition of the MC Frost House? That's my next question, because, any idea? Yeah.
Oh,
Yes, Commissioner Llewellyn, I'll just tell you from, my standpoint, I was in that house probably 7 months ago, 8 months ago. It's been unoccupied for,
Wow.
I'd say like 3 years now.
Yeah.
But, the caretaker still goes by and checks on the property. If you look at the appraisals, you could see the pictures. It's not in the greatest shape, but it's certainly not in like deplorable condition in any way, shape, or form. I know they had a pest problem there, kind of like the basic problems that you have when you leave a property vacant for so many years. But the roof seems okay. I know they had minor leaks that they repaired, and there's definitely work that needs to be done to the property, but it's not, like I said, it's not a total gut job or total tear down. For what we do when we restore our properties, we'll probably go all out on it. But like I said, we're gonna have a due diligence period.
That's what I was gonna.
And then we'll be able to fully assess the
So
property.
if we go in with inspectors and we find that it's not worth it, then we back out of that, for example. I'm just saying we could do that.
Well,
right?
yeah, we'd have to discuss it as a commission.
Yeah, well, I'm just looking at it as I don't want to end up spending, what do we say, $2 million, $2.7 million for a property and then end up having to put in another $5 million. That's my only fear.
Well, that's why even though we're discussing this together, per the presentation that Commissioner Ryan just finished, but each contract will come to you individually, extremely transparent. We would be able to check it out, and we would be able to go in there and get the report. But it also helps us in regards to negotiating power, things that we find.
Right. I mean, that's with any real estate. Anytime you buy anything, you want to look at what the inspection says.
Absolutely.
And go from there. Obviously, though, if there is a historic component to that, the historic aspect of it's going to be more expensive.
That is correct.
Do you know what kind of roof it has? What is the roof?
It's a tile roof.
Okay, those are all my questions. Thank you.
thank you, Commissioner Llewellyn. Vice Mayor Salvino.
Thank you, Mayor. I think, there'd be a million questions on this. I think the general idea is to, get permission to at least get all these questions you want to ask, because we can ask a million questions. We're not going to have the answers to it. And I think it's a good idea to, extend that, the opportunity. It doesn't cost anything for us to extend the opportunity to the city management to go out and research it. The only thing I'd want to add to that is that I think that, purchasing these properties, which could be a good idea, I think that everybody's going to have a different idea of what to do with it. And I think that maybe what we should do is prepare your questions, like, what I'd like to do with Federal Highway and the Frost House and the vacant lot, and come up with ideas. I think almost like as if we were doing a
Strategic
plan, so that we could all have an idea and, and think about it. Because, if 5 heads come out there, plus the city administration, we might come up with a great alternative for all 3, and it may be very, very feasible. But if we force the issue on one item, it may not work out for any of us. So I think the best thing to do is to come up with like a strategic plan on what's best. And I think by putting our ideas out there to do that, maybe we can prepare for that the next 30 or 60 days while they do their research, and maybe just submit them to them. And then maybe before we come back to the commission and go over it, we'd have these ideas all laid out that this is what we can do ahead of time for the city management to work that out. Is that okay with everybody? I could
add to that.
But what if we don't want you to?
Oh, my God.
Thanks, Mayor.
Commissioner Llewellyn.
Yeah, it's Just to, sorry.
You were on.
He has to turn off, somebody has to turn off.
Turn me off.
So I believe we have a workshop that is scheduled to discuss all of the properties in the CRA, and I had asked to include the city as well, so that this way, maybe this would be part of that, so that we're including all city properties or potential city properties, and we can discuss it at that time. Because I think that's already scheduled or is being scheduled. So that might be the time to do it, because it's in less than 30 days. So while negotiating, I know we have an excellent negotiator in our city manager, so I have faith in her. He made a motion. I'll second it.
Hold on.
Still discussing.
We're still discussing. Commissioner Romoli, you are.
Well, no, I
left.
just wanted to throw my 2 cents in, and I think the property at 21216, is it northeast, right across from Frost, is a no-brainer. I think that's definitely something that needs to be part of our portfolio. And of course, I love preserving history. I was talking to Joanna today. And I think anytime we have an opportunity, not only to purchase real estate, but also preserve some of our history, I think we really need to take a strong look at it. It doesn't necessarily have to be a yes, but we need to take a strong look at it and work out what we can to try to preserve some of our history here in Dania Beach.
Thank you, Commissioner. I will weigh in on this as well. I absolutely love the MC Frost House. That is something that I've thought that we should have been looking into for a long time. Looking at all three properties collectively, I understand that this is the negotiation stage, and so it's not necessarily that we're making individual independent decisions, but just trying to put a maximum amount allowable for the negotiations. But we have been talking about the AC Frost House for some time, and now this new property across the street, I believe that's the Northeast First Street property. Looking at what, and I agree with Vice Mayor on this one, because I think that it shouldn't just be a workshop. It really needs to be sifted through comprehensively about what we're going to do with these properties, because we do have a lot of ideas. We have a lot of strong leadership, and I don't want it to get into, something where we're just purchasing the properties and then we lock heads on what we're going to actually do with the properties at the end. So as we are moving forward, I'm okay with the negotiation process, but I really don't want to just move forward because without having a plan or without being able to come to some kind of consensus about what types of properties or what types of how these properties are going to be used. So I do agree with Commissioner Ryan that it's very valuable for the city to expand its footprint, especially on Federal Highway with what we have going on right now in the city. It would be beneficial to us in so many ways, but how we get there and exactly what those things are, I think that definitely deserves some longer thought, some attention, and I would say professional guidance. I really don't. And are these properties zoned for like the lot for the Northwest First Street? What is that zoned for?
That's probably residential at this time, right?
It is, but government has the right to do other things and to change. We would change the comp plan and we would change the zoning to accommodate our needs.
Okay. So at this juncture of negotiation, I'm okay moving forward with the negotiation. I have a first, I have a second, but let's just bear in mind that we're going to have to put some work into what exactly we're going to do with it. All in favor say aye. Any opposed say nay. All right, then that would mean discussion and possible action, item 13.2 passes unanimously. Thank you, Commission. And now we are on to item 13.3, discussion of Service Club signage project sponsored by Commissioner Ryan.
Okay, 2 presentations back to back in one day. All right. Okay, this is my next presentation. It's about the Service Club signage project. I mentioned with the city, years ago, but we're very busy. We're always moving. And when Mr. Abe came in and presented it, and Hollywood got it done with him, I think we could get that done over here in Dania Beach. So next slide, please, Ralph. So yeah, these are our service signs. It's to honor our local clubs and organizations. And I think if we put it on city property, you avoid all that red tape. And there's multiple locations. I would like to actually come together as a commission to agree on a location. But the manager brought up a great location, which was just west of City Hall, like, you know, like where the bus stop is, kind of, on Dana Beach Boulevard, just west City Hall. That's kind of a nice little entrance to probably put it. And we have little, like a little lot there, a little grass lot where we could put it. That's a good one, but I just wanted to get consensus from the commission to move forward in pursuing this.
We have consensus.
Perfect. And then we'll come back and we'll just come up with, 2 or 3 sites and we'll vote on it.
Excellent. Vice Mayor?
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, does it, I think what a good idea is, like you said, 2 or 3. I think we should all take a choice of the locations as long as it's city property and just bring that back again, and just submit what we think, and then we can work it off from there. But I was going to say, I didn't know if you were talking about one side, but you said 2 or 3 after I pushed the button. But that's fine.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea.
Excellent. So we have consensus for item 13.3. All in favor, say aye.
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 All right. We are rocking and rolling tonight. And then we are on to item 14.1, advisory board appointments, city clerk.
Yes, we have 3 appointments for the Education Advisory Board. We can do it like last week. I'll go down the row. Mayor Davis, you have 1 appointment to make.
Yes, Alicia Dillard from Olson Middle School will be my appointment for the Education Advisory Board.
Vice Mayor Salvino?
I'm not prepared. I will be prepared at the next meeting. Hopefully I'll have them all full.
Okay, I do have a member that was on the board that's.
Yeah, I just want to confirm that. I know we talked about it earlier.
It wasn't the one you're thinking, I don't.
Pardon me?
I have Samantha Bostwick. She was formerly Samantha Ellsworth. She was Davis's appointment, Mayor Davis's prior appointment.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear all that.
Samantha Ellsworth was a previous appointment that I had.
Correct.
On what?
Education.
On education.
And you place somebody else there now? If she wants that position, that would be fine.
Yes, she would like to remain on the board.
Then she can be that on my education. So that leaves me with the Green Advisory, Planning and Zoning, and Parks and Recreation. And I know I have one for Park and Recreation. I just want to confirm it because I had somebody else that wanted to be on it as well. In the Planning and Zoning, I'm replacing that with the Commissioner Romali, who was my appointment.
Okay.
So I'll have the other 3, or at least 2. The advisory board is, Education Advisory Board is tough to fill, but Mayor Davis has offered to work with the principal of the school to see what we can find another one from there too as well.
Okay, so Commissioner Romoli, you have an appointment for that board.
Quit pushing the button. You turn it off.
Okay. I have a name. She just has not confirmed back. It was actually someone that Joyce had reached out, our mayor reached out to.
Mayor Davis.
Sorry. Mayor. I need to be better protocol here, right? Anyways, the mayor did give me a couple of names. We reached out to them. I left a voicemail message, so I'm waiting to hear back from her, but I should have that confirmed next meeting.
We'll defer till next
Yeah.
Okay, we have the General Employees Pension Board. We need 1 appointment from the commission as a whole.
That's.
Commissioner Llewellyn.
That's the position that we really need somebody, like, we need to see their resume, we need to make sure that they have a background in finance or business, something that is going to make them a better candidate for this. Has anybody submitted anything at all?
Not for that board.
Okay, then we should probably hold
The
on.
mayor,
unless somebody
we
has.
can work with our HR director to maybe create some criteria.
Yeah.
Because that's important.
It's very important. That board is particularly important. So if we could work with Linda to get some criteria and then put it out to the public so we get a qualified candidate for that
I have a question, Mayor.
position. Hold on just a second.
I'm already lit up.
There you can look.
I can undo. Vice Mayor.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Is there anybody on the pension board now? And if not, who was on the pension
I think
board?
we're replacing Commissioner Remoli.
Okay. Was Patty still here with you?
Commissioner Romoli.
Yeah, so, yeah, I was appointed by, I believe, at the time you were mayor, commissioner, or vice mayor. And then I believe there's another person leaving out of state. One that's also resigning that's not going to want to renew. So there were three
Okay, I
positions.
may have somebody for that position. I'll make a phone call tomorrow.
Well, if we could allow the city manager to work with HR to get, since we need two in particularly, that we can come up with something. And if you have somebody, they meet the criteria, but we want to make sure that if we have two positions to fill, then we go ahead and do that with qualified
And Mayor,
candidates.
if I may, I know these boards, we always struggle to try to find people to put in these positions. And I think that being on many boards prior to being an elected official, I always felt like we needed to do a better job of finding people that sort of fit that criteria, that have expertise maybe in that area, or at least have a strong interest in that area. The other thing I think we need to at least discuss, and I don't know whether this is the time to do it, but I'd love to have these boards at least make some kind of presentation to the commission once a quarter, once a month, whatever you feel or whatever we feel is necessary. I think it gives a little, some importance to the volunteer boards. I think they would like to do it. I think they could be recognized, and for the work that they do behind the scenes that a lot of people don't realize they do. I think it'd just be good for everybody.
I think that's a great idea, Commissioner Romoli, on both counts, because I do, when I go to the education board, I just don't go to random people in the community. I tap into the principals, all three principals, and I make sure that it's somebody that they would recommend to me, and then I make sure that it would be a qualified candidate who's going to show up. And when I do it, I make sure that that they understand what the days are and what the commitment is. And if they can't make it, then to let the staff know ahead of time, because I do take the board seriously, and I think if we did have criteria, or we made sure that they were going to be referred or engaged and come and give presentations once a quarter or something, that would keep them engaged and know that they are actually being listened to by the commission. So
And supported by
and supported by us. We don't just appoint them without really wanting to hear from them and hear their ideas and think about what they see going forward for the city. So I do appreciate those comments. Do we have consensus from the commission to agree with Commissioner Romoli to go ahead and create some criteria for the boards, especially in particularly the pension board, but then also ask staff to have the boards present maybe quarterly for going forward?
Quarterly is good.
Quarterly.
Not planning and zoning, obviously.
Well, not
Yeah,
planning
right.
and zoning, but, okay. Commissioner Ryan.
Thank you, Mayor. For this General Employees Pension Board, we received an application for someone who's interested in being a board, and he seems very qualified. I would nominate him. His name's Jeremy Rosner, and he's an attorney. You know, he worked for the United States Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit Court, and he said he wants to be involved. We all received his resume, so I would go ahead and I nominate him for the General Employees Pension Board.
Mayor, he only showed interest in the planning and zoning.
That's
board
it?
This time, yes.
Okay.
I can reach out to him.
Yeah, reach out to him and
tomorrow
see if he's
ask him.
interested in the pension board, because I think that would be a good fit.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we're just going to go ahead and move forward with the criteria that we said that we're going to do. And we'll move forward with that before we appoint anybody to that board.
Okay.
All right?
Moving on, we have the Green Advisory Board, and Mayor Davis, you have one appointment?
That is my only outstanding one. I'm desperately trying. If there's, I trust you, Kathy K. Ted. No. But no, I'm going to wait and really kind of get somebody who's interested again in the environment. That one's my toughest one, and that's my last one to fill. So,
Vice Mayor Salvino, you have an appointment for the Green Advisory Board?
No, ma'am, I'm sorry, I don't.
No problem. Mayor Davis, you have an appointment for the Marine Advisory Board.
Yes, Stacy Brown will return on the board for me and represent the Marine Advisory Board.
Perfect. Moving on, we have the Parks, Recreation, and Community Affairs Advisory Board. Mayor Davis, you have an appointment.
Yes, Andy Lee will be my appointed resident for the Parks and Recreation.
Vice Mayor Salvino, you have one appointment.
Oh, I don't have any appointments tonight.
Okay. And there's one, with the passing of the resolution tonight, we have one alternate appointment to make from the commission as a whole.
What was that for?
For Parks and Recreation.
As soon as I can tell you that after I find out the one that I have confirms, I do have a backup for that.
Okay. So we'll defer that appointment also. Planning and Zoning Board, Vice Mayor Salvino, you have one, but you said you're deferring.
Yeah, no. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
When does the General Employees Pension Board meet? Wednesdays?
I think they canceled this
Yeah, Wednesday at what, 7 o'clock?
7 o'clock.
Okay. Once a month?
Well, whenever they have something.
Okay, but it's always,
Sometimes they don't have it every month.
okay. But it's always Wednesday.
Wednesday at 7.
Okay.
Commissioner Ryan.
Okay, yes. I have an appointment to fill for the Planning and Zoning Board. I just want to briefly speak about this individual because he's here. He is involved with the city. Everybody knows him. We already have his information, Aaron, so it's okay. I know he sends the city emails, and you know he's a caring father. He's a homeowner here in the city. He's an attorney, and you know what? That's what you do when people complain. You get them involved, right? And so when I brought him up, he was more than excited to be on this board. So I'm happy to welcome Gabriel De La Salle to the Planning and Zoning Board, and thank you very much for coming out here tonight to receive your appointment. Thank you very much.
Okay, we have one alternate appointment for the commission as a whole.
Commissioner Llewellyn?
Yes, I have somebody who's interested. He actually, he was at our State of the City address and talked to me about it at that time, about wanting to be on certain boards. Tobin Silver.
Who?
Tobin Silver. I have his address and contact information. You want me to give it to you now or give it to you afterwards?
I'll email you tomorrow.
Okay, perfect.
So that would be for the alternate appointment?
Yes.
Okay. Do we have consensus on that?
Yes.
And then we need a commission liaison for the Public Art Advisory Board.
Wait a minute, the Housing Authority?
I'm getting there.
Oh, okay. I would like to speak on that one since I am the current commissioner for the Housing, for the Art Advisory Board. I'm very proud of the work that we have done with the Public Art Advisory Board. We have instituted our first public arts park, put the mural at City Hall, and done a tremendous amount of work to bring new art to the city. I have just recently, well, actually several months ago, proposed an art program to the Art Advisory Board that would be able to extend our public art footprint through the eyes of public artists. And so I am requesting to stay on the board. We did speak to the Public Art Board, and they weren't in support of that. If my colleagues would be in support of that as well.
I'm in support of it. You got my vote.
Thank you. Have consensus to stay on the board. Yay.
Now we have the Housing Authority Board. One appointment, Mayor Davis.
Yes, we did have somebody who rolled off, another person who rolled off the Housing Authority Board, and so my replacement is Albert Jones, former mayor and commissioner with the city of Dania Beach.
Okay. That concludes the appointments for tonight.
Thank you, City Clerk. And now we are on to commission comments, and we will begin with, I'm sorry? Oh, do you need a motion for all the boards? Yes, sir. Sorry, do I have a motion to approve?
All approved.
The advisory boards? Second.
Third.
Second by Commissioner Marmoli. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, our boards are rocking and rolling. Thank you, Commission. And now we will move on to the Commission comments and begin with Commissioner Llewellyn.
So I will be brief, as I usually am. First, I wanted to congratulate our Human Resources Department on putting on such an amazing city employee holiday program, holiday luncheon and awards program. I think we were all there for the most part. It was wonderful. I was not planning on staying as long as I did, and it was just a lot of fun. And everybody was having such a great time, and it was really wonderful once again to see the very positive culture that has been developed in this city for the city employees. And everybody was enjoying each other, enjoying the food, and just having a really great time. And the karaoke, where's Elvis? Oh, there he is. Oh, and Frank. I had no idea that Frank was a rapper. But anyway, now we know. Yeah, but it was really a lot of fun, and I'm always impressed. Every year things get better and better and better for our employees, and it's clearly people really want to work here. And that's really important, that you have people that want to work here, are good at their jobs, and want to be better because they really like working here. So thank you to all the employees as well. Secondly, Dane After Dark. Awesome. So that keeps getting better and better as well. And I will say, do we have numbers on that by any chance?
We have between 2,200 and 2,500.
Okay.
We've spread the footprint.
Yeah.
So there's less lines, more vendors, more activities.
Yeah, and so I invited people from my day job this time, and none of whom live in Dania Beach. And although there is one actually in my office that lives in Dania Beach, but the people who did come had so much fun. They ended up going with us to another location afterwards, had a great time, and are definitely coming to the next one, and are telling everybody about how great it was. And so the word is getting spread outside of the city to lots of people about these wonderful things that we're doing. So that's the kind of thing that we like to see, and I love all the promotion that's being done. It's amazing to see in the newspaper, see it on the local news, to see all these different Deco Drive and all these different things that are going on, and we're really doing a great job of getting the word out there that Dania Beach is the place to be right now. So, but that was also a great job, and thanks to Parks and Rec for putting that on as well. And then lastly, I got an email today that our reusable water bottles arrived for Olson Middle School. So you may remember, couple months back, before you were here, I had sponsored paying for these for the students. The school wanted to do something. We were talking about doing the reusable water bottles. They came in. I stopped what I was doing and jumped up and went over there to go check it out. And I met with Principal Giancarli, and we took some pictures. I took the pictures, but didn't get them to get onto the screen or anything. But anyway, they're really nice. They're not real big. They're good for children, which is good. They had about 600 of them, and their enrollment's higher than that now, just FYI.
I know.
So she gave me an update on that as well. Their enrollment's going up. They're on track to definitely be a B school this year, potentially an A. Of course, their goal is always to be an A, but they're definitely on track to be a B school. They're really excited about partnering with the city. But the bottles are, I think they're aluminum, not sure, but they are, they have the logo for the school on one side and the Dania Beach logo on the other side. The caps are attached, so the kids can't lose them as easily as they would otherwise. And they're lightweight, so they're definitely good for maybe kids that aren't quite so big. But they're really nice, and they're going to have when they pass them out to everybody, they're going to invite us all to come and get to know the kids and help celebrate with them. And it's a good learning experience for them as well, because they can learn about the environment and doing reusable things as opposed to things that you could just throw away and one-time use bottles and things like that. So, but they're very excited to be working with us. They're excited about the way things have been going with saving Olson, basically. So, and they do appreciate everything we're doing, and they want to do more things with us in the future. So with that, I hope everybody had a happy new year, and next.
Commissioner Llewellyn, thank you so much. And we are now on to Commissioner Romoli.
So I'd like to echo Commissioner Llewellyn's information on the Taste of Dania Beach. It was a really nice event, and I can't thank city staff and the team enough for all that they do. If you've never been involved in events, they just don't show up at 6 o'clock and it just happens. They're there all day long, and they're there all night long breaking down. It's an all-day, sometimes actually more than an all-day thing. It's a planning event over a course of several weeks and months. So there's a lot that goes into that, and I know it because that's my business outside of this. That's what we do, and I appreciate every single thing that they do. Cassie, your team is amazing. And it was also great to see Debbie Wasserman Schultz there. She had a lot of great things to say, of course, about our city. For her to be at our city for that event, it's a big deal. She could be anywhere, and she was here in Dania Beach. I'm also going to ask the city and our mayor and vice mayor and commission a big favor. In March, our commission meeting on the 25th, I'm asking you if it's possible to move that meeting to Monday the 24th. I have a professional conflict. It has to do with business, and I certainly cannot do the business, but I would prefer to, if possible. And if you could check your calendars, and I know it's a big request, but if you can check your calendars to see if the 24th would be available to do our commission meeting, I would certainly appreciate it. March 24th rather than the 25th. And I don't know if we need to decide today or
If you could look at your calendars and you're clear, we can advertise, so if you're good.
Okay.
We've done this before to
Okay.
accommodate.
Yeah, we've done it before.
Yes.
Send out an email.
All right.
I'm clear, they'll just say, no, I can do it.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. And then the last thing I have is, and I'm not
I
sure.
do have legislative action days that time, so
Oh.
let me see. I might
Okay.
be able to go another late, but I don't want to commit to it right now.
Yeah, I understand. Just
Okay.
let me know.
Thank you.
And I don't think I have to get permission. I talked briefly about this, but on the Unity Gala this weekend, I've been asked to read the proclamation that you read tonight, Mayor. And I just wanted to make sure it was okay with everyone to do that.
Absolutely.
Okay, good. That's all. Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you, Commissioner Romoli. And then we are on to Commissioner Ryan.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I don't want to be repetitive here. Dania After Dark was great. It was great to have Congresswoman Wasserman Schultz there. Our Martin Luther King Parade, it's going to be a real privilege to have BSO Sheriff Tony there. So we are pretty popular, guys. And we're functioning, we're moving on all cylinders here. So in the whole city, you know, when you see from the staff to BSO to our firefighters, it looks like we're all in unison right now. Everything's kind of chucking along, and it's great to see. And thank you, Commission, for working with me tonight on my items. I'm happy we got them moving forward, and I look forward to working with you further in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Ryan. Vice Mayor Salvino.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. My comments are, I agree with everything that Commissioner Llewellyn said, Commissioner Romoli said, Commissioner Ryan said. I'd like to move the meetings to the end of the year, and that's it. I'm only joking. I'm not going to repeat all the things. It's the same thing, but just want to be happy. So, do what? No, you wouldn't. She still wants to talk.
I forgot.
Happy New Year.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Commissioner Llewellyn, you had something
I'm
else?
sorry, I forgot to just mention that we lost a former police chief this week, Rudy Rigo. Yeah, he passed away. So just wanted to, that was before BSO came in. So just wanted to let people know. Anyway.
Thank you, Commissioner Llewellyn. And I won't reiterate everything, but I do want to commend the hard work that all of our staff does, but thank you for Parks and Rec for continuing to elevate us and making us look so good for every Dania After Dark. We are getting such positive feedback from the residents. They're already looking forward to the wine and seafood. Today we found out who our musical guest artist is going to be, so I think I'll just keep it for a minute, City Manager, but people are really, really excited for all of these different events that we have coming to the city. And I did meet the city clerk from Weston and the city clerk from West Park. It was Wilton Manors and West Park that came out. So people are coming, and elected officials and governments are coming to our events. So it makes me very happy that people come from all over to come to Dania Beach. It's a very, very exciting time, and I think they feel the energy. Where was I? I was at the Port Everglades Association, and I believe Commissioner Ryan was there, and they were like, what is in the drinking water in Dania Beach? Because you guys are so excited and you bring so much energy to the city. And so it's because we love our city and we show it, and it comes from a real place. And so people are really seeing that we are a cohesive, unified team. And I think that just really makes us shine as a city and shine as a community, which is what we really want to do. I do want to send my regrets. This is my first time in 4 years that I will not be at the Martin Luther King celebrations, as this will be my first time attending the U.S. Conference of Mayors in Washington, D.C. And so I wish you all the best. Tell Sheriff Tony we said hello, but it is something that I have been attending every year since, and I will not be able to make it due to other obligations. And I have to compliment the city team. Fernando, he's back there. I know that a long time ago, it's been years in the making, when we talked about putting electricity in those medians for in order to light up the holiday lights. People are still talking about how wonderful it was to see that on Dania Beach Boulevard. It was a long time coming, and it does make a difference. And people do come still right now and say, can we leave the lights up all year round? Because they were really excited about that. So I really want to let you know that the work that you do, it is seen and it is appreciated by the residents. So thank you for that. And I do want to acknowledge the fact that we lost a giant, Deacon Flowers of the St. Ruth Missionary Baptist Church. He was 98 years old, and he was a staple in that community. His family was there. We all, it was really a celebration of his life, but he was a giant, and every time I look in that corner, I would, at the Deacon corner, I expect to see him over there. And so our deepest condolences go out to his family, but know that it was a life well celebrated, a life well lived, and he will be greatly missed. And on that, I want to thank my team, my colleagues. I want to thank all of you. I think we have a great commission, and we have a great administration, and this is the way that we move forward. I look forward to the strategic planning sessions. I think that we haven't had a disagreement really big yet, but I mean, at the end of the day, I know that this is a very professional team, and we can handle whatever disagreements come our way in a very professional way, and that makes me very happy. And I'm happy to work with each and every one of you. And so with that, with my gavel from Commissioner Ryan, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Way to start off the year.
Yeah.
With a bang.
With a bang.
Good night, everyone.
All right, we did get through it.